Our next candidate running for governor on the independent ticket, would you welcome Gatewood Galbraith? Gatewood.
Thank you very much, folks. Gatewood Galbraith here. First of all, I'm going to go away from my regular speech for just a second and tell you, Governor Beshear, that was the worst darn speech I ever heard anybody give. For a person who's supposed to be trying to come up with solutions to Kentucky's problems, for you to go over there and try to hide behind the bodies of our young men and women on the military. I've got an honorable discharge from the Marines, and I was highly offended by it. And the reason you did that was because you were too damn cowardly to go down there and congratulate the Navy SEALs at Fort Campbell when you had the chance. And we were slamming you heavily, and you arranged this trip to go over there to try to buy yourself out of the predicament you put in. That's like trying to buy a room full of flyers for your girl after you've been caught cheating. And you should have used that time to come up here and talk about solutions to Kentucky's problems, not what your false patriotism is. My name is Gatewood Galbraith, and I'm an independent candidate for governor. We don't want a political party. My running mate and I, hey, dear, if you're going to use your outside voice, go over and join the other children over on the playground. We're trying to get some serious conversation going on here, okay? So you go over with the other kids over there. You know, people say, Galbraith, you're a perennial candidate. And I said, well, Kentucky's got perennial problems. If the people had beaten me the first time and solved the problems, I wouldn't have had to run again. But they didn't, and they haven't, and they can't. Because neither party can produce a candidate that can disengage from the partisanship long enough to work with the other side to actually get the job done. The leadership of both parties have their horns locked up like two white-tailed buck fighting over territory while our business lays dead in the dust. And both of the parties are to blame for what we've got here. Neither party has presented any solutions to it. Dee and I are not asking you to vote against your party or vote for the other dreaded party. We're asking you to vote for an independent governor who does not care who gets credit for doing what's right for the people. If you're a Democrat or a Republican or an independent, if you've got a solution to Kentucky's problems, you can come to the governor's office where we stand, and we will do our best, and we will give you all the credit for it. If you come up with a good idea, Mr. Williams had a great idea the other day, and I complimented him on it. And I said, David, I said, when I'm governor and you're president of the Senate, we're going to put that idea through. But, you know, folks, I've got to tell you, Mr. Williams can't win this election. Mr. Williams cannot win this election. I'm sorry to say. Only I can beat Steve Beshear, and that's because we got solutions to problems. We're not sitting up here trying to hide behind some false military patriotism. How many of you all were satisfied with Congress's performance last week? How many were satisfied with Congress? The same thing's happening right here in Kentucky, and if you keep voting for these parties, it's going to continue to do just what happened up on a national level. There is no doubt about it. We need jobs. We need economy in this state. I've got an idea for it. I've got something I call the Commonwealth Incentive. Without raising taxes, if we stop the corruption in this state, we'll have enough money to pay for pensions and retirement and Medicaid. It's corruption's keeping this state poor. What I'd like to do is the Commonwealth Incentive, and that's give every high school graduate in the state of Kentucky a $5,000 voucher for books, tuition, and fees to any institution of further learning in the state of Kentucky that would train them into employability. I don't care whether it's truck driving school, cosmetology school, UK, UL, woodworking school, for books, tuition, and fees, no pizza, rent, and beer, no creature comfort. They can spend it within 10 years after getting out of high school. It's time we started talking about further education for everybody, not just higher education for a few. And our C&D students need to be trained into employability too. That will bring worker training programs into the state. It will bring emerging industries into the state because we will pay them to train our workers to work in that industry. It will also give these kids in poor counties some hope behind the high school diploma, besides the fact they don't have to go to school anymore or that they get to get a driver's license. We need solutions, folks. We need to give these kids in these poor counties hope. And the most beautiful part of it is not one penny gets spent until that person takes themselves to the training place to begin the training. The first dollar doesn't get spent until they take that first step towards trainability. And that ought to save us money. It's not like building a $100 million campus and trying to entice people to get into it. We have many other planks in our platform, too. If you go to gatewood.com, you can see them all. First of all, we are against mountaintop removal. We don't want mountaintop removal. We need coal, but we don't need that extremely destructive way of gathering it. We need coal, but we need to talk about the environment, too. Secondly, I want to freeze every tuition here in every college in the state of Kentucky. We're pricing education out of the hands of the people. We need to reform our tax code. We need to reform our tax code. We need to go to a consumption tax and take the burden off the shoulders of the wage earners and small businesses in this state. Those are solutions. Those are solutions. We must protect our state workers and stop these damn furloughs. That is, those furloughs. Hey, this man, Mr. Beshear, is not the nice guy you think he is. He furloughed you all while he hired 81 special policy advisors at an average of $75,000 a year while he was cutting the state workers' pay by 2%. That's not a nice guy. You're not a nice guy. You're not a nice guy when you lobby for 460% interest on payday loans from the people who are the worst, the hardest hit economically. That's not a nice guy. You're not a nice guy when you take 90% of your campaign dollar from people who do business with the state. All these signs you see up here, all these commercials you see run, they're paid for with your tax dollar because the big people money, the big money are giving them money to run on, but they expect to be paid back 10 times over by special interest contracts that are given out, and that's what's keeping Kentucky poor. That is what's keeping Kentucky poor. We must return order and accountability in the Department of Fish and Wildlife. I mean, their money's being mismanaged. It went from a $15 million surplus to a $4 million deficit. We need to clean up corruption in this state, folks, and only an independent can do it. The parties are not the problem. Just like Ronald Reagan said, the parties and government are not the solution. They are the problem. We want less government. We want less taxes. I've got the endorsement of the Gun Owners of America in the past. I'm Second Amendment. And, I would tell you this, folks, I've been trying to tell you the truth. Asked somebody the other day, he says, I'm going to endorse you. I said, why are you going to endorse me? He said, because you've never lied to us. I said, hell, if I was going to lie to you, I'd already been elected governor. God bless our military, God bless Kentucky, and God bless America. Give us your vote. Thank you.